conversation might be a little bit heavy because it's business planning. And so you're really going to have to think with an analytical mind. And it is 9 o'clock in the morning. So I don't know if you guys need to do some jumping jacks to get your blood pumping, or get another cup of coffee, or what it is that you need to do to really wake yourself up, because we are going to be in the analytical mind for a little bit. But before we do that, I want to go through a couple of announcements, and then I'm going to get you guys to do an exercise that you hang on one second, that you might go, oh my gosh, that was the hokiest thing I've ever done, or you'll say that was the best thing I've ever done. I want to do more of that. But I want to share with you something that I often do just to help me from a creative, getting into the space that I want you guys in mentally in order to work on the things that we're going to work on. For those of you guys in the room, I'm struggling to get a password to be able to print. Was Sherry able to print that, Jim? Yeah, ask her if she was able to print that. For you guys online, now, never mind. Don't worry about, you just are going to follow along. I'm going to share the screen. You're going to take notes, and then I'm going to give you the handout so you can sit and really work on this. We'll talk concepts between now and the time that you get the packet. But there's a couple of things I wanted to go over with you. So again, congratulations for you guys that have been here for all 6 of the classes. We do this twice a year. So if you didn't get to attend all of them because something happened, you'll get a chance again in the spring. You only get the free quarter of MLS, the free 1/4 of MLS dues one time. So the rest of the time, come on through, because you'll get good information. I always change the conversation. It's not the same thing over and over. Tomorrow is Better Homes and Garden. We only have 2 more of these classes. Thursdays at Better Homes and Garden, once a month, we meet with, I call it our non-denominational church meeting, because it is just all of us from all walks of life, all of us from different offices, all just getting together and sharing our heart and just really working through some exercises following Training Camp, which is a book written by John Gordon. It's just a really special time. This is our 2nd year to do this, and it's just been an incredible experience. So you're welcome to come. We start at 10 o'clock and we are over by 11 o'clock every time. Better Homes and Garden on Travis Street. It's, where Eddie Mac, well, no, you're newer to the area. There's a barbecue shack right there at the corner of Lambeth and Travis. And then just 1 block over you'll see the building. It'll have a big marquee digital board. It's Lone Oak Investment Group, I think, is the big sign, and then Better Homes and Garden sign is on there too.
Address is 2620 North Travis.
2620 North Travis. Thank you, Danny. Danny, you want to share? I probably didn't describe that event very well, so why don't you describe what that's all about too, from your perspective?
Well, I think you did a good description of it. The thing of it is that as realtors and other interested parties in the mortgage industry, and we've had folks that have came and given a presentation about roofing and just about a little bit of everything. But the thing of it is that we stick around, and as we are all, as realtors, we're competitors. But the thing of it is that we cooperate with each other. And not only on Thursdays do we cooperate with each other, we also help each other to maybe work through some issues, not only business-wise or personal-wise, that sometimes we feel like we're all alone in this struggle. But through the companionship and the camaraderie at these meetings, we find that we're all kind of struggling in certain areas. And through the, and I'm going to use a church term, fellowship that we have on on Thursdays. It's once a month, but boy, it can sure be beneficial to attend. Sorry to everybody to come, and we'll welcome you with open arms. And don't feel weird because you're going to another realtor's office. We won't tell anybody. So come join us.
Absolutely. Um, Next year, we're talking about, the group has asked to do this every other week, just because we do some really cool assignments, and just that accountability and staying on track would be beneficial every other week. So we're working on
like accountability as well.
Yeah, we'll change up. Every year we change up the content, but it will continue in some format. Yeah, because it's just all of our favorites. Open house mastermind. I did schedule a date for open house mastermind. Several of us were talking about getting together and figuring out some better ways to get people to show up for open houses. Let me see what date it was. I can't remember. I ended up October the 19th at 3:30, and we'll just meet up at my office. So if you're holding open houses for yourself, or you are asking others to holding open houses, or you're holding opens for others, come, let's collaborate and find out, how do we get more juice out of the squeeze, so to speak, on those open houses. Let's see, let me go back to my notes. And then Brandy and I are working on some cool buy down tools to help you guys really kind of wrap your mind around that. And I can have a conversation about that after this class for anybody who really wants to better understand them. I can show you how to calculate them yourself. It's really super simple, super simple. But we are working on some tools for you. So if you haven't already commented in the real estate group that you would like the spreadsheet and some of the tools that we're creating for buy downs and marketing material, then you need to go into that group and comment. That way, once we get this fine-tuned, we'll get that out to you. There's just a couple of calculations we're still double checking before we send it to you. Last thing we want to do is give y'all wrong info. Thank you. All right, I wrote on here November event. I don't even know what that is now. I just wrote this just like an hour ago. So I can't tell you what that is. But we do have Blues and Barbecue coming up on the 19th as well. So Blues and Barbecue is an annual appreciation event that we have for our community partners and our business partners. You're welcome to come. It starts at 5:30. We are typically, it should come and go, and we'll have barbecue sandwiches, chips and cookies, and beer, wine, tea, and water, and live music in our backyard. It's typically a really nice evening for us to all just commune together. So the 19th, October 19th.
Your November event, was that your living event?
Oh, that's what it was. Thank you, Brandy. See, I'm just the idea generator. So in November at my lake house is going to be a special 3-day event. It'll start on a Friday evening. We will go all day Saturday into later evening, and then half a day on Sunday. And it is just that moment where you just get to pause and run away from everybody and everything, and just really get real heart centered and figuring out, who am I? Because this business planning is really hard if you're not real clear with who you are as a person and how you want to experience life. So we spend some time I guide, you do the work, and just really doing the whole discovery of getting that clarity of who am I, what are my values, how do I want to experience life, and then what really are my intentions and what do I need to do in order to make that happen. And that is November the 9th, 10th, and 11th. I am providing food, so the cost is $150, so I have money to provide food. I'm not charging it as a coach like I normally would for a coaching event, because I just want to offer this to everybody, and I don't want the money to stand in the way as much as possible. So I wanted to invite you guys to that because we are talking about business planning, and sometimes it's hard to do business planning whenever you're real confused about what it is that you really even want out of life, because it kind of goes hand in hand. So we will be doing that again. That's November 9th, 10th, and 11th. It's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Did I give you the wrong dates, Carla? Are you looking at the actual dates? Let me look on the calendar. It's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you're interested in that, you just let me know and I will give you the details. No, sorry. I just told you all wrong. It's 10, 11, and 12. It is a Friday evening dinner, Saturday and Sunday. All right. Those are all of the announcements. That took us 20 minutes almost. So here's what I want you guys to do. So those of you guys on the call, make sure you have pen and paper available because you're going to take a lot of notes. I want you just to really be thinking about what it is that I want to experience in business in 2024. From a number standpoint, and we are going to talk numbers in just a little bit. Right now, you might be thinking, well, I don't know right now what my numbers are going to look like because what the numbers have looked like in the past 2 years isn't representative of what they've been in the last 3 months. So leave that thinking just for a few minutes. So here, let me share with you a quote that I had looked up today because I'm really wanting you guys to shift your minds away from, we're going to get analytical in a few minutes, but I want you guys to be in a creative space mentally first. I want you to be in touch with your feelings and your emotions. Okay. Almost feel like I need to turn off the light and get on some meditation music for you guys. I'm a big fan of Dr. Joe Dispenza. And his big thing is change your thoughts, change your life. And I truly believe that if you change your thoughts, you can change your life. And so I looked up one of the quotes that he had, and I'm going to share this with you. And then I'm going to have you do some visualization exercises in just a few minutes. It's going to start with a blank piece of paper and a pen. So if you guys on the call need to go get a blank piece of paper and a pen, go get it while you listen. Cultivate a positive mindset and learn to let go of limiting beliefs and negative emotions and stay in the present moment right now. Stop entertaining past thoughts, limiting belief systems and stories, and eliminate complaining and nagging and replace it with thanks for the things that are coming to you. The past is the past. The present is what we have right now. And if we stay present in the moment and we stay in a place of gratitude, that's where greatness begins. I believe in each one of you. You all have the ability to achieve everything in life that it is that you want. You create your future with your present thoughts. All right, open y'all's eyes because I want you to make some notes here. Knowing that you're defined by the vision of the future, not the memory of your past. Move forward from the past. That part is really important. It's gone. Yesterday's gone. Today's what we have. And what do we want for ourselves in the future? Because that's what really matters. So what I want you guys to write down on this blank piece of paper, write down what your future success looks like. What does success mean to you? All right. A few of you guys are still writing. You good to a stopping point? No, no, I know. But no, I don't want to rush anybody at all. I really don't. Though it's a good exercise you can always go back to too. Looking back at your future success, read over it again. How does it make you feel? Do you start smiling whenever you read it? Does it make you feel like, I mean, like this is the good life? How many of you guys have numbers in there? Is it experiences? Is it time spent with others? Is it more time to yourself? It's going to be different for everybody.
It is, because mine's none of that.
Mine's not numbers either. I mean, mine is unrushed time with my grandkids and my kids. Like I live on such a schedule. My future success to me means I'm not rushed to go from one appointment to the next and squeezing my kids in the middle. No worries about money. So I can spend when my grandkids need something, I have it to give.
Me too.
And I mean, I just like to be able to give. And when someone asks for assistance, I want to be able to give freely. That's what success feels like to me. Not having any debt, that's success for me. Because in waking up to a sunrise, being able to exercise and spend some quiet time with my husband first thing in the morning and having that routine feels like success to me. And then ending the day feeling like I finished, like what I did for the day was good enough and I can rest and relax without a list of things that I still feel like I should have done by the end of the day and didn't get done.
Hopefully, a lot of people have health on their list because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't do any of the below.
Mhm.
And without your health, it doesn't matter how much money you have, how much time you have. It's very, very important, and it'll come home to roost real quick.
Love that. Anybody else have anything to share that they discovered when they were doing that exercise?
Michelle, I do. I feel like, slowing down is one of the big things for me because I'm always running around doing this, checking things off my list because I love to check things off my list. Slowing down, taking care of me, having time, encouraging people. And, I do the prayer cloth thing and just want to lift people up in this crazy world we're living in right now. Just we need to be encouragers. We need to be, helping people, encouraging, edifying, pulling people back up. And that's kind of my mission right now is slowing down, serving others, helping others, and just, make it a good day. A good day. Be thankful for the day.
Perfect segue. Now I want you guys to rewrite your future self as if it's today. Today I felt such and such because I was able to do such and such and be with so and so. Encouraging to others, helping others, giving to others, whatever it is that makes you feel successful as a human. Put in the chat, for those of you guys who are on chat, what feelings you had writing your definition of success as if it was today. I want to read some of y'all's words, word to words, but hang on to those feelings. I want to know, what are you feeling right now after seeing yourself as your future successful self today? Work in progress. Love it. Blessed. Anybody in the room want to share a word or two? Does it feel encouraging or discouraging? Encouraging? Encouraging. Finally encouraging. All right. Success is defined by all of us differently. And it's not someone else's success that we're talking about. It's your success. What makes you feel successful in life and in business? You know, business for us is just a tool. It's just a way for, it's just a resource to help us get to what it is that we need in order to feel successful in life. So I wanted you guys to get into this headspace, because when we start going into numbers and we really start going into some of the work in the business planning, I want you guys to refer back to what truly success means to you. If I'm going to have unrushed time with grandkids, what does that mean for me? What do I need to tweak and change and do differently so that I have more space for that unrushed time, for things just to happen, you know, not necessarily scheduled. If I'm wanting to make sure, of course, in order for me to have unlimited amount of money so that I can actually spend, but what does that really mean? Does it mean I need millions of dollars, or do I just need to feel grateful for each and every opportunity? Right? I mean, there's no dollar figure to that.
And that's real interesting, because my statement was very similar to yours. It's financial freedom.
Financial
Right.
freedom.
To do helping others.
Help others, right? But sometimes if helping others feels like the right thing to do for you, sometimes helping others isn't even about money.
Right.
Sometimes it's giving your time. Sometimes it's giving your influence and helping people attend an event. Sometimes, I mean, there's so many other ways to give. So if giving is so important and that to you makes you feel like you're a successful human, does it have to be tied to dollars? No, it doesn't.
It's just dollars are tied to time.
Dollars are tied to time. Time's not tied to dollars. Yeah.
And we need our time.
Yep. So really helping you reframe, you know, what is the definition of success, and can I see things differently? You know, can I understand that giving is more than just giving money? And so I just want you guys to have this great list to go back to whenever you're creating that business that you are, that you want and your need. For me, I have a responsibility because I have employees in my building that I'm responsible for more than just myself. And so, there's those responsibilities and obligations you have to be successful in business, but I want you guys to be really clear about what success really is. Doing well in business and being successful in life are two different things. Right?
Right.
So, all right, we're going to dive into, and I'm going to share screen for you guys on the call, and we're going to go just a little bit deeper in your thinking as we go through a couple more exercises so you guys get clarity before you dive into numbers. And the numbers part of it is something that y'all will, I won't be able to see the chat if I make this big enough for you guys to be able to see here. I've got a PDF, and so you guys will get a copy of this PDF, but I want, again, just on a blank piece of paper, a commitment from you. You're about to lay out a plan for the new year. A new year we don't know much about. It's your bridge to your future. So put a plan without the will, a plan without a will to execute. It's just an exercise at that point. It's just words that you put on a piece of paper. So write a message to yourself stating how seriously you are committed to implementing this plan that you're going to put together and be held accountable for it. And maybe that accountability means that we start an accountability group that meets once a month. And you bring your plan and we see if you're working your plan. I don't know what that accountability means. But if you guys are going to be that serious about it, I'll be that serious about it. And helping with the accountability piece of it. But write a message on a piece of paper to yourself about how seriously committed you are to putting this plan together and actually implementing it. And staying on track throughout the year. I can't see you guys on the screen without minimizing this, so I'll just gauge who's done by the writing in the room. All right, on accountability, what do you need from an accountability standpoint in order to execute, to implement, and to stay on track? You know yourself. Is this a daily check-in? Is this a weekly check-in? Is it a monthly accountability partner meeting?
I've been accustomed for 2 years having an accountability call on Monday morning, and we kind of reviewed what we did the week before.
How many people do you talk to? How many showings? How many appointments?
And
how many? Yeah.
I was there every single week, and I thought it really made a difference for my focus and intentions. You know, if you're looking at it and you're talking about it,
what you focus on expands.
That's right.
So if you're focusing on something that you're worried about, that expands. If you're focusing on staying focused and making sure that you know how many people I talked to last week, how many people did I have an actual face-to-face with, how many did I actually sit down and share drink or food with, how many people did I get a contract, listing or a buyer side. That accountability matters because you're focusing on it. And when you focus on it, you tend to execute
I
better.
was blown away by the results.
Absolutely. Accountability is
Frankly.
huge.
And I really hold the accountability call
Mhm.
To be a big part of that.
Mhm.
Because focus for 2 years is a long time
Mhm.
when you're a rookie.
Right.
You're brand new. You're
Right.
just trying to figure
Well,
it out.
and it's encouraging too. You know, sometimes,
That's
just
true.
right. I
The
mean,
encouragement.
the encouragement and the competitiveness of our nature and
sharing ideas.
and the collaboration. There's a lot of benefit.
It was
Yeah. So y'all write your ideas and bring them
remarkable.
forward.
Yeah.
Bring them forward. Y'all have my email addresses. Share with me, because I don't mind helping y'all. Y'all help me. We help each other. All right. Why? What will motivate you to take action and execute your plan? Maybe it is just so I feel good as a person. I just want to feel successful as a human. Whatever it is that motivates you, what is your why? Why do you want to feel successful? Why do you need clarity in the definition of success? Why do you need more clarity on how many people you need to talk to every single week in order to reach your goals? Why? Why? All right, this next one on vision takes sometimes a little bit, so I'm not going to expect you guys to feel like you totally can just write out with clarity and confidence what your vision is. But play with this just a little bit. What is your vision for your business? And be specific, because you want it to be SMART goals. Specific, measurable, actionable, realistic. If you want clarity, if you want accountability, people and yourself need to know what you're being held accountable for.
Oh, so we're actually filling some of this out now?
You've got packet, or leave your packet clean if you want. Yeah. I thought y'all might want to leave your packets clean so that you got it to really sit down and work on.
Right.
What is your vision of your business 3 to 5 years from now? Make it measurable. All right, your mission statement. Sometimes I struggle a little bit with my mission statement, but I think it's because I overcomplicate it. Your mission statement articulates the purpose of your business and your means of reaching it. It should be a simple sentence or phrase. I believe in empowering people through education. That's mine.
Describes you perfectly.
I just made that up. I'm so glad. I've been struggling with that forever and it just came out. So
Yeah,
thank y'all.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for the
Yeah, you should write it down.
no. I need to write it down. I'll write it down right now.
Say it again, please.
I believe in empowering people through education. I have overcomplicated that for many, many years. It just came out. I'm so thankful. Thank you. Thank y'all. Words are so flippin' powerful.
They are.
All right, your values. Now this may be, there's an exercise that I have in my workbook. And if someone really wants to go deeper into really getting some clarity on their values, I do have an exercise that I can give you that would help. But just to kind of give you an idea of that exercise, your value system is really, it's what governs all of your decisions. It's what guides you in creating this life and this business. Sometimes it's easier to find your values in looking at your social media if you're on social and see what really is important to you. Community is important to me. Connection is important to me. Education is a value system for me. So just really collaboration is a value system for me. The reason that your values are so important is because they should be your bumpers for making decisions. Like, is this really a good strategy for getting leads? Is it good? Does it align with my values? Well, you could go through the list of what your values are. For every decision that you make, you should refer back to your value system. Does this align with my values? And if the answer is no, then the answer is no. So I don't want you to shortcut the values exercise. So if you need some help, like I said, I've got a whole list of words and instructions for to make it easier for you to find those words. I have a list in my phone, and every one of you guys are in this list for They Show Up. That's the name of the list. Because I believe so strongly in education, those of you guys that show up for these classes because you're growth minded, professionally and personally, you're my people. And so and so whenever it comes to, will you come do this for me? And this person's asking it, and then, Carla over here is asking for some help. This person over here never shows up, doesn't show any kind of, their value systems are just not growth minded. Then it's easy to make a decision as to where I'm going to be if I have the opportunity to be at two places at one time. I just go straight to value system. So those values are really important whenever you guys are really figuring out, how do I want to do business and who do I want to do business with? All right. I haven't seen you guys, so I hadn't seen your faces to see how that was going. Are you guys online? Did y'all work through that? Those exercises? Was that overwhelming or helpful?
Well, for me, it's very helpful, and it kind of helps focus on different areas that maybe are kind of pushed to the side, and it needs to be up, top of mind, I'll say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Danny. Anybody else have anything else they want to share about what they experienced with that exercise? Okay. I actually wrote, well, never mind. That's another conversation. All right, we're now going to go into more of the analytical, like referring back to 2023. Now, we did send an email out to give you guys an idea. Thank you, Carol. I see your notes. To gather some of y'all's information. How many of you guys gathered information on your numbers for last year or this year, actually? No? Y'all, I'm sure you still remember.
Right.
So, yeah, this year's a little bit easier to remember. That's the bonus. So no, well, you got to find something to be grateful about the situation. It's easy to remember what your business was made up of. All right, lead sources. This part is really important for you guys just to really look back. And this is going to require that you actually look at your CRM. How many of you guys are keeping track of where your referrals are coming from, and how are you keeping track of that? How are you keeping, are you putting yours in your CRM, Carla?
I just use
A spreadsheet, okay. Still a CRM, yeah, it's a CRM. Is anybody else using an actual CRM or spreadsheet to keep up with their referrals? How are you keeping up with who sent you who and what the status is of each one of them, so you know where they're coming from in your head? We'll change that next year.
Yeah. I'm just being honest.
I know, you don't, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Facebook too.
Facebook too. Yeah. Yeah. How are you keeping up with it on Facebook?
Just the messages that I get.
You're scrolling through your
You
messages to
actually
keep up?
Get people to message you on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
Not cold leads. Okay.
Warm leads through Facebook. Yeah.
I see.
Where someone will tag you on a Facebook post and then you end up messaging them, and then they message you, vice versa. Then you can scroll through those because you don't really lose. I don't know that. I think I've got years and years and years of messages. I don't think that they ever delete those. Christina, what do y'all have in your office? Do y'all have a CRM? No? Okay. All right. I highly encourage all of you to come up with the system, and maybe that's the first. God, there's so many different ways we could meet up and help each other in business, but having a way to keep up with who have I talked to this month about real estate and who referred them to me is so important. And it's, I mean, as good as we think we are at keeping up with this stuff in our heads, we're not. There's only so much you can keep in your head. So, Mark, are you using, okay, Carol and them use Real Geeks. Mark, what are y'all using in your office? Or what are you using?
Well, we have it's called Moxie Engage, and it's not the best. So actually there's a handful of us that are transitioning to a new CRM. And so I'm hoping by the end of the year, I'm fully engaged into it.
What's the new one?
KV Core.
Okay. KV Core.
Mhm.
I've heard good things of it.
I did just sign up.
For KV Core?
No, Chime.
For Chime? Has anybody used Chime? No? Okay. You know, it really doesn't, they're all good. They're only as good as you use them though. So just tracking who have I talked to and when do I need to talk to them again is important. And a spreadsheet will do that for you for a while. But there's so much in the automation of, it's V as in Victor, Christina. There's just the automation in a CRM is huge because you only have so much time in a day, and you need to be top of mind with these folks. So HomeBot is another, I mean, it's not a CRM, but it is a way for you to get people into a system where there is information going out to them with your name, your face, and you can record videos to send out once a month too, just giving them a market update so you're top of mind. And then you get a notification every time they are exploring anything in HomeBot. So it gives you a trigger. Every single week, you're going to get a trigger of somebody that you need to be reaching out to because they have pushed some buttons or they've just been on some of those pages on their digest. So whatever it is, your goal for all of you guys, your goal is to get some type of CRM going, some kind of organization so you can, with confidence, fill out your business plan in 2024, knowing exactly how many referrals you received for the year and where did they come from. That part is super important. All right. Then the next section, and the reason that this is so important, you'll see in just a few minutes. But your actuals, you know, you're going to want to be able to build out based on your transactions for the year, what your actuals are in total sales volume, your GCI, your average value, and the average GCI. Because if you don't know what the average is, it's really hard to know based on how much in total volume I am going to do in 2024. You don't know how many people you need to talk to, and we're going to get down to that level in just a few minutes. Is anybody already tracking their conversion so you know how many people you need to talk to in order to get a contract signed and then an actual transaction funded? Is anybody tracking their conversions? Okay. If y'all don't have them, then I'm going to share what what industry standards are, and you guys are going to just build out your business plans based on industry standards. Okay. Which is changing right now. And so I can tell you right now that our conversions have drastically changed in the last 6 months, just because of the shifts that we've experienced in the market. So I'll share what I believe is industry standards based on adjustments. Okay. The activities and ratios, and this is the conversions piece of it that if you don't have the specific information because you haven't been tracking it for 2023, you're going to have to pretend based on the best information that you have available to you. And you're going to build out 2024 based on those projections. And if we're holding each other accountable, you can always adjust these figures, right? I mean, just because we put a business plan, I suggest that you review a business plan twice a year. I mean, I adjusted my business plan in 6 months ago. Well, not quite 6 months ago, but it was halfway through the year. I was like, oh, this is not looking like it's like I had planned it to look. All right, percentage of listing appointments that resulted in listings taken. That's one I'd actually have to look up. I'm going to reach out to a couple. I'm going to reach out to a coaching program and get that information for the listing appointments. And right now, you guys got to keep in mind that listings are taking longer to sell, and some of them, they're taken off the market, some of the houses. So the percentages, again, are going to be a little bit harder for you guys to track. I don't know what's realistic to expect for 2024, but this is just based on your 2023. So how many listing appointments did you take last year? And how many listings did you get? And that's going to give you your listing conversion. Now, what happens if you don't like the results? What can you do different or better next year to get more listings when you go on those listing appointments? What is your batting average? And how and what can you do to increase that batting average? And that's what I think is really important about this assessment. How many listing appointments did I go to? How many of them resulted in a listing? That is the answer that we're looking for right now. Okay. So you can guess on that. Again, I'll check on industry standards to see what the industry standards are. And then you want to look at how many listings did I get and how many of those closed. You're just going to divide the number to get your conversions, right? So what is your success in actually closing your listings? Why is this important? Tell me some reasons why knowing these stats are important.
For your bottom line.
It's important for your bottom line so you know how many listings you need to go on.
Right. And
right?
how many listings you need to have in order to
right? Do you think it matters to a seller if you were to tell the seller, hey, if you know your numbers, you show up at a listing appointment and you already know based on you knowing your numbers that I get 90% of my listing appointments, right? Then you can go in there with confidence. And if you didn't get that listing appointment, then the next one you go, I got that next one because I close at 90%, right? So it gives you confidence in knowing your numbers. If you don't like the closing conversion of your listing appointments? Do you need to do a better listing presentation? Do you need to have a better understanding of the personality of the people that you're meeting with? Do you need to come better prepared? Do you need to have a better packet? Do you need to have a better follow-up system? I mean, like, what do you need to do different in order to convert higher? The other reason I think that it's really important to know what your listing to closing is don't you think on that listing appointment, the seller would want to know how many of your listings you've sold this year? That's part of your conversion. So knowing those numbers are super, super important. I can't stress the importance of making sure that if you don't know these numbers, you do your best guess based on last year and this year so that you have some numbers to reflect on. What gets really cool is when you can convert this to conversations. How many people do I need to talk to about real estate a week in order to get the number of listings that I need and want to reach my goals? Then you know on Friday, it's Friday afternoon and you're short 2 conversations. What are you going to do?
Pick up the phone.
You're going to pick up the phone. You're going to figure out what pond you're going to go fishing in and fish in a prospecting pond of some kind. And hopefully if you start tracking this data and your CRM is going to allow you to track this data, you'll be able to pull these reports and based on the different prospecting ponds that you have to fish in, which one you're likely to get a bite. So you can be way more strategic about how you're doing business and where you're spending your time. But you also need to know, okay, in order for me to have X number of conversations, I need 1 power hour a day where you're just prospecting. You're in home buy, you're looking at what activities are going on, you're reaching out to people on the home buyer side, on the homeowner side. You're going through your open house roster from 3 weeks ago and touching base with people again. You're going back through your Facebook messages and go, oh, I forgot, I talked to these people 3 weeks ago and I hadn't followed up with them yet. Like your prospecting hour, you need to know, where are my prospecting fishing holes and who am I going to go fish for this 1 hour? I like to work theme days. So if you know that, say open house, you had open house over the weekend. So maybe Monday is a good day to be following up on open house attendees. And all of the sellers that you went door knocking to let them know that there was an open house in the neighborhood. Or maybe you were at Fall Fest and you guys had a booth and now you have all of these people that entered a raffle. So those are your prospects. I mean, like knowing who are you going to prospect is really important. And then your prospecting days of the week. How many are you going to have per week? How many prospecting weeks per year? That way you can get real granular in terms of how many conversations do I need to have on an annual basis to reach my annual goals based on how many I know I need in order to convert based on my conversions. So this form can be a bit intimidating, but I think it's really important you just take it one little square, one little blank at a time and get some clarity around that. And really, if you don't have the data, Cammie, you're brand new to the business, you're not going to have the data, but you have people around you that you can reach out to and go, hey, based on what you know in the business and where you are in the business, I'm year 2, 2024, what can I expect? And just talk to people and get some help. Heather, you're year 2. This is going to be year 3 for you, isn't it? Or is this year 2 for you? 2. All right. So you should have a better understanding about, how many people you have to talk to in order to get a real bite, a bite on your fishing line. All right. Anybody else have anything to share in regards to that? Do you know numbers? Carol, you guys track that stuff because you've got leads coming in from other sources. Do you have anything to share with us? And you're using Real Geeks. Does it pull that data for you? Pretty sure it does. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, you know, just tweak and change. One thing that I love about this time of year when you're really looking at your business and really doing your business planning is it does give you an opportunity to go, okay, you know what? Good for me. I did great in this area. I'm a little off in this other area. So what can I do in order to tweak or change to make things better so I can get more done in less time? That's always my goal. How can I get more done in less time? How can I be more effective and efficient? I want you guys to totally understand seasonality. So when you're putting your goals together, don't just go, okay, I'm going to do, Tracy, how many transactions are you going to do this year, next year?
24.
Okay, so Tracy's going to do 24 transactions next year. Don't just go 24 divided by 12. We have seasons in this business, right?
But that's what I want to average. That's my goal. So,
Yeah,
but you're right.
but we have seasons in this business. So,
Right,
you know, you
right.
may be 4 as an average for the hot months, you know,
Right.
and I really think those hot months are going to be, spring is going to come on strong for us. Winter's going to be a cold winter.
It is.
And so if that's the case, when you're setting your goals, be realistic. Know and understand what goes on in our area weather-wise, what goes on holiday-wise, and then just what are the regular cycles.
Right.
Knowing what we know, I think that a lot of people incorrectly are on the fence, thinking that, you know, spring is when they're going to buy. Spring thing's going to be better. Whether they're right or wrong, I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, I disagree. I think now's a great time to be buying because you got flexible sellers. Are they going to be as flexible then? No. Are they going to pay more for a house? I might be writing a check for the difference in sales price and appraised value again because everybody's waiting until spring. But just spend some time here and really think about what's going on. You also are going to be thinking, when am I going to be traveling? When am I going to be spending time with my family? And how is that going to distract me from doing business? And make your plans accordingly. Y'all want to stop for a few minutes and take a break just because that was a lot of information to go through? We'll have a 5-minute break. I'm going to get a cup of coffee. Well, maybe not because it's not made. But let's take a 5-minute break and then we're going to roll into the marketing piece of this. Huh? Yeah, I think Sherry usually has it where all we got to do is push the button. This is the fun stuff, the marketing piece of it. Yeah, there's a button. I think it's on the right-hand side. You just push it in.
What is the password here for the guest internet? Do you know?
No, I can't remember what it is. Ask Sherry. Yeah.
That's my alarm, guys. I'm sorry.
GTAR 2019.
All little or big or?
I think it's all little.
I have to go.
2018?
Good for you.
Is that what you said?
2019.
I'm not sad that I have to show that.
Yeah, I want you to write a contract. You're not going to go show a house. You're going to go write a contract.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need contracts. Everybody needs contracts.
Go girl.
What did I say the other day? Real estate was what percentage of the GDP? Was it like 40%?
I didn't hear that. Really?
It's a lot. Maybe it was 20%. Whatever it was, I was like, holy smokes, that's a big responsibility.
What was that?
The percentage of really the
Contacts or?
no GDP of the gross domestic. Yeah. So I think real estate was responsible for, I thought maybe it was 20-something%, whatever it was. Now I gotta Google it. It was a lot.
Yes, housing generally averages 15 to 18%.
15 to 18. So write it 20%. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So go write a contract. Huh? Yeah.
Do most of the contracts. Good luck, girls. Thank you. Do agents do most of those just in person on contracts, or is mainly it done online?
Done online.
And that when you meet with somebody.
Yeah.
So they're kind of go one place and you're somewhere else.
Well, because, okay, so if someone signs a contract, and those of you guys on the call can correct me, but if you don't send them a link to sign online, then it messes up the whole transaction flow in terms of getting signatures for buyers and sellers when you're negotiating repairs, or, just the whole process. So yes, on the signatures are typically 99% they're online.
I've closed some deals. I have the CRS. But I've kind of been out of it for a while.
Right.
And I was kind of thinking that most of it's done through technology.
Yeah, it is. It is. And there's several services out there that play well together. Tracy can probably tell you more after class about that, the different technologies. All right, you guys, we have the bake sale going on. So I'm going to roll through this part.
I'm having trouble with allergies.
I'm going to roll through this part pretty quickly.
Software that I use for electronic signatures, I get from Texas Realtor's website. Okay. And it's called Zip Forms. Okay, I think that's the same thing. And so if you go to.
Hang on a second. We're sharing some information real quick.
And
then we're going to wrap up in 30 minutes.
Okay. Be sure to do that because it's included. So you don't have to pay extra. Otherwise, if you go, and it's transaction.
Okay, I'm gonna start moving. I'm gonna move on. Your marketing plan. The reason that I wanted you guys to know clearly where your business is coming from, because establishing a marketing plan based on where your business is coming from or where you want it to come from is really important when you're doing your business planning. So you know what your numbers are, you know what want your numbers to be, and then based on that information, you know how many conversations you need to have because you're tracking your conversions. You know this many conversations yields this many referrals, and this many referrals yields this many contracts, and this many contracts yields X number of funded transactions. So whenever when you track those numbers, and again, if you haven't been tracking those numbers, then you're going to just have to ask around in your office, and then also just make some, I mean, you're just going to start from scratch with just guesstimating what those numbers are, an educated guess. And then next year, as you're tracking that, when you sit down to do this again, you'll have actual numbers that you're going to be referring back to, which is why I'm stressing the importance of having a CRM set up now so that your 2024, you've got good, clean data. Again, if it's just Excel that you're tracking it on, it needs to be tracked. But I highly recommend these CRMs do not cost that much money, and just keep it simple and start reporting every referral into the CRM and mark the source of the referral. If that's all you do for the first couple of weeks until you get a habit established, do that. Does that make sense? And then you can keep building on and adding on to doing more and more with your CRM. But being able to track this information is just really important in order for you guys to really put things together. All right. So your marketing source or your marketing plan based on source. So this is how granular you're going to get. And here's an example that's in this packet for you to use. So your lead source marketing plan. So if your marketing plan is advertising to create awareness and consideration. All right, so if you're really new to the business and you don't have a presence already, What can you do to get in front of more people? Get your name in front of more people. Make a list. What can you do in order to get in front of more people? Networking plan. This part is really important. We have a thought in our coaching program where you need 5 hours of prospecting, so that's 1 hour a day. 3 face-to-face appointments and 2 networking events that you show up, you shake hands. Now, the process that I've used for years and will be going back to, hadn't done it in the past couple of years, but I used to do it years ago, was I would put 5 business cards of mine in my pocket. And my goal was to have a conversation with 5 people that I've not met and exchange business cards and just simply ask them, what do you do and who is your ideal client? If I were to refer you someone, who is your ideal client? And then you've got their business card, you follow up with them the next day. And your follow-up is all about getting face-to-face with them, meeting them at their office or meeting them at a coffee shop and getting to know them as a person. So if you attend 2 networking events a week and you do that, you're going to have 10 more people to put into your CRM every single week to follow up with, to get face-to-face with. So those networking events are really important. Your follow-up plan. So what is your follow-up going to be if you're going to be building your business around open houses? So what is your follow-up plan for that? We're going to meet next week and really talk about how do I meet more people through open houses? And then your referrals. What is your follow-up plan? If you got a referral on Facebook, for example, what's going to be your follow-up plan? How are you going to get the information you need in order to put them into CRM so that you don't forget them? And then your nurturing plan. You have all of these that you've got from a nurturing standpoint. You have people that you've already talked to about doing business, but you haven't done business with. They haven't, they're not house hunting, so they are not your buyer. You're not representing them as a buyer rep. They haven't listed their property yet. What's your follow-up plan? And then those that you do have in your system, you've got their homes listed, you're showing them houses. What's your follow-up plan? How do you stay in touch with them? How do you continue a relationship with these people? You have transactions you've closed. What is your follow-up plan to stay in front of these people? Remembering that every time you talk to them, your whole goal is to continue to grow your business through referrals. So don't forget to ask for those referrals. And then your prospecting plan. What else are you going to do in order to prospect? So if whatever your goal is, you know that you need to have all of this ongoing conversation and activities in order to reach your goals. So you have a blank piece of page in your packet that breaks all of that down so you can get really strategic about what your plans are in order to make those numbers happen. What activities are you going to do? What action are you going to take in order to do that? Does that make sense for you guys? Does that help bring some clarity about what do you do in a 40-hour work week so that you live life too, but you feel like you're doing a great job in business? Cool. Thanks, Mark. All right, so spend a little bit of time with this. It's not enough room, but it will get your brain going. Now, this is broken down by lead source because each lead source is going to have a different plan. If you're going to build a business around open houses, then there's a whole nother plan around just that can be specific to these open houses. If you're going to build a business around buying leads, you're going to go ahead and spend some money and buy leads, then you're going to have to put a whole follow-up and marketing lead gen plan based on that audience. You could also be building business by education. so you're going to do education, you're going to do homebuyer classes or credit classes or budget classes, or maybe you're going to go into the high schools and help these seniors understand what it's like to be an adult and the responsibilities they have financially and the importance of credit and all of those things. That's another lead source. And to me, the lead source would be the teachers in the school. So how are you going to market yourself as being that educator so that people see you as someone in authority that cares about the community, is all about education, and wants to empower these seniors in high school to make smart decisions as adults? So what's your plan for that? So whatever it is that you are looking at as lead sources for next year, get creative and figure out, what can I do to turn this lead source into just a little side business? And that's how you're going to think of it. These are all little side businesses that help feed the funnel for the business that you want to do for the year. So I got y'all's brain rolling just a little bit. If you're ever short ideas on lead sources or places to do business, you just need to get on my calendar, because I have more ideas than I have time or people asking for ideas. So I can always share ideas with you on how to generate business. You've got a lot of different blank pages, so go ahead and expand that out and keep thinking of different ways based on my value systems, what I value in life experience and people. Create yourself little prospecting fishing holes, and that's what you're doing with these different plans. These are all different fishing holes. You don't need 5. You can have 5, but you don't have to have. But figure out who do I want to prospect? Who do I want to do business with based on my values? What type of people align with my values? And how do I want to experience life and do business? All right. So,
oh wow, I didn't even go send the operation.
Yeah, it's a very thorough packet. So this gives you a few moments to really think, okay, the more productive you are, the more money you make, right? The more organized you are, the more you can keep your focus on the things that are going to expand your experience. Operations is about streamlining your business and improving efficiencies. So reflect on your business with your coach, which I'll be your coach today. What areas can you work on that will have the greatest impact? And prioritize those. Determine the return on your investment on lead sources. Is that number 1 for you? Is that the highest priority? I mean, like, go ahead and write down the things, and you've got lots of blank space. What will I do, and where do I need accountability based on what it is that you're wanting to achieve operationally? And I'm going to give you guys some time to do that, because it doesn't require, I mean, you don't have to have your previous data for that. So I'm going to give y'all some space and some time to do that real quick.
Coffee's ready. This is in operations initiatives. Okay, page 15. This it refers to a program called Illume. Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-mm.
Enter my numbers into Illume at the end of each day.
Which would be a CRM.
Yeah.
But I don't know what Illume is. But I mean, that's a big deal.
CRM, I'm wondering if you really haven't. I mean, I've been in sales and business development, and worked in the CRM all day long and didn't do it at the end of the day. I did it as I went.
As you went. But here's the thing, and this is the struggle that I know I personally have. I'm on the go. So Tracy, you could tell me at the end of this class, I have so-and-so that I'm going to be showing a house to. They're not pre-approved yet. So I'm just going to show them this house this one time, but I'm going to insist they get pre-approved. So here's their contact information. I need you to reach out to them and get them pre-approved so I don't waste my time. So if I'm not at my desk, I mean, I could log into my system from my phone, but it's kind of tedious to do that. So what I would do in that case, I might scribble the information on a napkin, you know, whatever it is, and then I'm going to take a picture of it, and then I'm going to email it to myself, so that the next time at the end of the day or whenever it is today that I'm sitting at my desk, I'll get it entered into the system.
That's a good idea to email it,
Yeah.
because I make notes and I, do all these things, but
Right.
then I don't have them coming back
I
together.
take pictures
They're just
all the
all
time and just email it to myself, or I may open up my Outlook on my phone and go ahead and just type the information that you're telling me and then email it to myself, so that whenever I'm sitting at my desk the next time, I have everything I need to get into the system.
Well, listen, let me ask you this. I had an open house on Sunday.
Uh-huh.
And I was very fortunate in its location. So I was
Good.
able to put a sign on brand.
Yeah.
I had 4 different groups.
Good.
And they're all unrepresented. By putting that sign on that busy street. So, but they're Spanish speaking.
Yeah.
Do you have
I have Spanish speaking people.
You do?
Yeah, I have a Spanish speaking loan officer in our corporate office that we just refer those to. And they keep us in the loop of everything. So I don't have anybody local.
Where's the
I'd love
corporate
local.
office?
San Diego.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's real hands-on, and everything I can see and do is online. I can see everything that's going on. And they use our
How do you
appraisers.
transition that though? Like I would send them to you or Brandy.
Yeah, you would just send them, just give Brandy the info and she'll loop in the loan officer. And we're still involved.
They spoke a little
English, right,
because
right.
I communicated.
Right.
But they were all.
Here's the
willing to
thing.
Come to my first time homebuyer
Just
class.
if you're dealing with somebody who speaks Spanish, and that's the language they're most comfortable with. We're talking about financial documents.
Right.
And it's very intimidating already. I would prefer to refer it to someone who speaks their language.
Me too.
And so that they are buying with confidence. They can educate them. I would, it's just not the same experience. So I would still rather them work with someone who speaks their comfort language.
So would it be better for a more seamless referral for referring to the San Diego?
No,
person?
it still
Make
comes through
them
us.
Local.
No, we'll just introduce them as our Spanish, as a loan officer that speaks Spanish. So if you were to send us an email and include the customer in the email, because if they aren't comfortable reading it in Spanish, in English, they're just going to convert it, right?
Right.
So you would just send an email to Brandy and to them, introducing them, and just let them know that Brandy is in the local Sherman office, and that we have someone, a loan officer that does speak Spanish, that she's going to include in the communication.
I know this is a little bit out there for y'all, but I just thought, wow, do y'all ever do open houses?
Attend them.
Like Brandy
Occasion,
and I do an open house.
yeah.
together.
The struggle that we have is that we're sitting at our desk working 40 to 50 hours during the week.
Right.
If we don't take that time off on the weekend, we'll burn out.
Right.
And so now there are times we pop into open houses, but sitting at the open house is very difficult for us because of the amount of time we're already working. I put in a good 60 to 70 hours a week, Monday through Friday. And so by Saturday, if I'm not available for my grandkids and my kids and my husband, then what am I working for?
Right.
Right. So
Well,
for
that's
that
why I
reason,
said
it's
I
not that
know
we
it
don't
would be-
enjoy the
it
open
would be a
houses and we
lot.
don't understand the benefit of, but it's just,
It
it's
would
just
be a
time.
lot.
It's just time. Yep. All right, you guys, that was a lot of time for you guys to fill that out. Did you get that complete? Did you write down the things that you really want to implement and work on and grade yourself accountability wise? Okay. Yeah, time block. That's a biggie. That's a biggie every single year, no matter, I mean, golly,
Yeah.
at any and all levels of top performers, time block is, but it's that one thing that when you get that mastered, I've not found anybody that totally masters it, but
Right.
but yeah. Okay, I love the SWOT analysis, and I'm going to introduce these things to you because, and you'll do these on your own, but these are incredible tools. So when you're really putting your business plan together, now you have really a mental picture of how you want business to be for you in 2024. What areas, what are the strengths that you feel that you have in order to execute on that plan? Where do you feel your weaknesses are? What opportunities do you see? And what threats? For I think all of us right now, the threat is what's going to happen to rates, right? But it's a threat that's uncontrollable. However, it does affect our industry. But could that threat be an opportunity for us to do a better job educating?
Absolutely.
I agree. But if you don't understand what your threats and your weaknesses are, you don't know how to offset and turn a weakness into a strength or a threat into an opportunity. So spending some time and really working through this, I think, is really important. This is also a great team exercise if you have a team. In order for us to succeed as an office or a team, what do we feel are our strengths? What sets us apart? What makes us better than others? Where are our weaknesses? Where do we have some areas in which we need to work? What opportunities are there out there that we might have not been capitalizing on, but now we realize? But based on those opportunities, what do we see as a threat? And how do we turn the threats into opportunities? Like it's just a really good way to assess. Now, speaking of open houses and just really having a sense of purpose and feeling like there's harmony between the experience you have in life and business, this is a phenomenal exercise. I've been using it for years. It's called Wheel of Life or Circle of Life. People call it different things, but it does allow you to really figure out what areas do you need to work on the most. I will tell you this changes because what you focus on expands, right? So how you do this exercise is you go from the center of the circle and you go, okay, I feel with family right now, I've really been focusing on that this year or the last 6 months, however you want to assess that, and assess it all. Whenever you're doing this circle, assess it for the same period of time, right? So in the last 6 months, say I have, life has been really busy. I've actually, embarrassed to admit, but I even let birthdays slip up for some of my in-laws. And that's not who I am. I value family and I value connections. And so that is one area in 2024 that I really want to work on, is doing a better job of staying better connected with family. Whatever that looks like to you, then you're going to judge yourself. You're going to assess yourself. And in this case, I'd give myself a 4 or 5, but I really want to be at an 8 or a 9, maybe even a 10 in that area. And so I'm going to just go from here and I'm going to count up to 10 and I'm going to just circle. I would go up to 5 and I'm going to circle. I did a decent job, but I didn't do as good of a job as I had wished for in family. Then you do the same thing in career. And then you assess yourself in travel. And then you assess yourself in giving and contributions and relationships and the social fun. I mean, maybe you got so wrapped up in business that you stopped having fun. And your every event that you go to, you feel is a business network event instead of a fun social event. Though I think that you should really blend those two. If it's not fun, you shouldn't go to a networking event, but that's another subject. But you really want to just assess yourself in all of these categories and decide, what am I going to focus on? And what can I do better? There's another exercise that's not here, but I have it in my book. I've got a journal that I'm building out, and it gives you an opportunity to do this once a month and assess, and then write down what are you going to do different next month so that you focus on and become better in these areas. And you could do that on each one of these. I mean, if family is important and you don't feel like you did a great job, so what could you do different in the next 6 to 9 or 3 to 6 months to improve in that area? Is it maybe in my case, is it a once a month Sunday dinner get together and we celebrate whoever's birthday is that for that month, and just go all out? Like, what does that look like? So spending the time to do this, I think, is really important so that you feel like that. It's life's purpose. And if it's not fun and you don't feel like you're doing it well in all of those categories, then it's time to really put your focus on those categories and feel better about how you're doing this life and experiencing it. I noticed a chat. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, cool. All right, Carol, yes, all of this is a lot to consider, which is why you guys are going to get a packet and you're going to go through it yourself and really spend some time on that. Financial planning. So you have a better idea who you want to do business with, how you're going to do business, and how you're going to live life. Now it's really about putting the money together so that you can establish a budget. And that's where this financial planning and your budget inputs come from. All right, and then allocate each commission check. So if you're not saving money, oh my gosh, what are you going to do when things like 2023 hits, right? So making sure that you've got money allocated and that you're distributing that money into different places, different accounts. You've got money set aside for your taxes. You got money set aside for your savings. You've got money set aside in your business account so you can invest in your business. These are all really important. And then you've got a personal expense budget so that you can spend some time on that in your business expense. Decide what are areas that I need to invest more in or spend less of. And then it gives you a chance to really assess. No judgment. You guys are not allowed to judge yourself for where you are right now. But just really get serious, get clear about where you are in terms of debt and how much cash you have available to you. So you've got a good balance sheet there, right? All right. So I think this packet is really, it's not too overwhelming, but it's very thorough. And I really want you guys to spend some time. And if you do take this serious and you do spend the time to really work through the creating your 2024 real estate business plan and are wanting some accountability around that, then you need to let me know and I will see and define what accountability means to you. And I'll see what time I have on my calendar to dedicate to this. One of my passion projects is to take that event that I'm doing at my lake house and creating a mastermind around that. And that's already going to be a bi-weekly for 6 weeks. So I've already got some things that I've committed to, but if you guys are willing to show up, I'm willing to help you guys out, but I need to know.
And you need them to show up.
And I need you to show up if you commit to it. Yeah. You know, especially in times like this, I hate charging for it, but sometimes whenever you have to pay, it makes you show up. So I even think about that, you know, if you had to pay, maybe it's a deposit. And if you don't show up, I get to keep it. And if you do show up, you get it back. I don't know what that looks like. So you guys will hold yourself accountable, or come for some help for accountability. What I've also found too is that you will show up for others when you won't show up for yourself. So that would be a way for you, if you know that others are counting on you, and if you weren't there, you'd be missed because they're counting on you. Maybe you'd show up. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to cut this a little bit short because we do have the bake sale. Sherry needs to head out that way so she can help get that set up and ready to go. So she can lock up the building. We'll cut it short. Does anybody have anything that they want to add? This is our last in the Success series, so we will not have any series until spring of next year. So anything you want